Our gear is loaded here in the shuttle shanty. We don't have the wind, so we're not going to have to worry about that. You know, we've taken you through on Michigan Outdoors this past winter. It's been terrible ice fishing. We took you up to Tip-Up Town, USA, Houghton Lake. Normally, a great time to go up and catch lots of fish. 0-degree weather, Bob.
But I did get one pike.
One pike we got on that trip. Then we said, hey, we'll take you folks to some real crackerjack walleye fishing, where a year ago they caught lots of them. Bell River, off the Ontario side. What did we catch, Bob?
One perch.
Again, 0-degree day. We planned another trip. Bill Deephouse, biologist here in the Thumb, we planned this trip to go up north up to Black Lake sturgeon spearing. Tons of snow. Wind was howling. Almost 0-degree weather again. No sturgeon. That's why we're here in the Thumb, because our viewers say, Fred Trost, take us fishing where you can finally show us some fish this winter. And we said, no better place to go than Saginaw Bay.
Well, I sure hope we don't let you down, Fred. Let's try to go get some perch.
Okay, that's a half-hearted pitch for perch fishing. The long and short of it is, the weather is okay, but the fishing has been, in a word,
lousy.
What can I say? We won't beat it into the ground anymore right here. We're going to try our darndest to bring you some perch on this show, so you stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost, Bob Garner, Bill Deephouse. We're going fishing, so join us. It's Thursday night, time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the rugged shore and woodlands of the north, its history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fisheries. To the farmlands of the southern counties we'll look around again, and all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, and the stillness of the forest lies encased in Arctic cold, the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can, it tells you of the beauty in this state of Michigan.
As we were walking out on the ice, we noticed that fella ahead of us is getting closer and closer. He's going slower and slower. Problem seems to be, reason nobody has snowmobiles out here is because there's a lot of slush on the ice. Problem number one. Undaunted, we press on, taking you perch fishing anyway. Huh? Let's do it. We got to go through this stuff, so let's give it a try. Well, there we go. This is our perch fishing expedition that couldn't fail. Everybody can catch perch on Saginaw Bay. Heck, there's 12 million of these little yellow perch caught every year, many of them during the winter. It's a good thing we brought this shuttle shanty along. We used this at Houghton Lake during Tip-Up Town. We would tip it up and have a break from the wind. The wind wasn't blowing at all this day, but the problem was the temperature. It was so warm. Look at that, what we're going through. The farther out we get, the sloppier it gets. We're getting into water up to our ankles, and I found my socks were getting wet too. Well, Pat, we're not out to where we're going to get yet, but we come across you. What's your name?
Chuck Atkerry.
From
Bay City.
Bay City. Give us the good news. Where are you hiding your fish?
I think they're under the ice.
Are they? Yeah. Have you seen anybody catch anything?
No, I haven't seen one caught.
Oh, you watch Michigan Outdoors?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. You ever see us catch fish?
Once in a while.
Once in a while. That sounds like what it's going to be here today. Well, good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
We'll see you. Well, we've reached a spot that we're going to fish right here. And I don't know if this is bad news or good news, but when we see fishermen coming in, we're hoping you got your limits already.
Oh, yes, we do. We do.
Oh, you do? You did get some fish. Holy cow, let's get them out here. This
We
is
don't have no limit.
No, but this is good news. You got a couple of... Oh, you got some nice ones there. Look at this. Whoa. What's the secret? Getting out there far enough, or were these early in the morning, or what?
Luck. Just luck.
Just luck?
Yeah.
But are they biting now, or did they stop?
No, they stopped.
Oh.
Down now.
I know this
Well, we
guy.
found fish.
Guy right over there is pulling fish.
He is?
Yep.
Which one is it that's getting the fish? The guy in the red?
Guy on the outside.
Oh, over there.
Dark.
And he's been pulling them in hand over fist, huh?
No. No, he's caught a few fish.
He's caught a few. I mean, hey, that's hand over fist to me.
Or whatever, go ahead and look or whatever and see who's catching fish, you know?
He just pulled one up. Doggone it, this is the first action we've seen right here. And this fella, I don't know what he makes of this, attracting all this attention. He's been catching fish and watching people walk in on him. Sir, I don't mean to be an imposition, but we're out here trying to do a story for Michigan Outdoors, and you're the only person catching fish.
What?
What's the matter? You trying to... You mean you guys are glutton for punishment out here waiting around on this today?
I know it. Isn't that terrible?
Terrible.
Well, you're catching fish and everybody else is watching. You see them moving in towards you.
Luck of the Irish.
Is that right?
Yeah, luck of the Irish.
What's your name?
Perkizer,
From where?
here in the city.
Ah. Well, good. You're just, you don't mind if we sit up around you here, do you?
No, I guess not. No.
Okay, well, we're
I
gonna...
don't see your fishing poles, so
Oh, we got them right there in the shanty.
we'll drill your holes in there.
Okay, we'll do it. Hey, thanks a lot.
You bet you. Get right in.
Oh, you got another one? Look at this. Well, now this is perch fishing action that we...
You're stepping, Mom.
Oh, yeah, we got some back here. There's a good-sized one.
Well, Bob Burkheiser inspired us, so we drilled some holes around him, and of course you can almost predict what happens when we pull up and start augering holes in the ice. Seem to have a little detrimental effect on the fishing at the moment, but undaunted, we pressed on. Look at that, the ice is so thick, a couple feet thick, and slush had blown from out in the water underneath the ice, and there was a lot of slush under the ice, so some fellows took out little inventions here, a tin can with holes in it on a long stick so we could reach way down, 3-4 feet down, and pull that slush out. Took sometimes up to 10-15 minutes to get all the slush out of the hole so we could fish. Now, my socks were wet. Doggone it, I left the plastic bags. Last time I dried out the liners of my moon boots, I forgot to put the plastic liner back in, so I got soaked on the way out. Fortunately, in my day pack, which I always bring along, sometimes people laugh at me for that, but I had some spare socks in there, and I also had some plastic bags to put things in. I put those on, and at least it saved me for a couple more hours out on the ice. But that worked out pretty well. And that shuttle shanty, that saved our necks too. Use it almost like a boat. I could stay in there and keep dry. So we bored some holes and started fishing, and amazingly enough, we did all right.
Well, there he goes, Bob Burkheiser, who showed us where the fish were being caught, and they were here for a while. And now I'm fortunate enough to be fishing in the hole that he was using. No luck yet, Bob. Nothing yet. But that school might move through again. Isn't it nice to be out here with no gloves? It's almost a shirt-sleeve day. Might as well set the mic down and get down to some serious fishing. Hey! Oh, I tell you. Oh, Burkheiser. Thank you very much, Burkheiser. Well, it's a little one, but it's the first fish.
Hey, no skunkaroo this time.
Oh, no skunkaroo. We did it. Oh, I'm excited.
Good show.
Well, yes, sir. That's perch fishing action. Boy, I'd like to catch one of those great big ones like he had, those big slabs. Oh, now that was a kick.
Well, that was a kick. Now, that's what I call doing all right. We caught one fish, prevented us from getting skunked. I caught one, and somebody else in our party did catch another one. Jerry Lentz from Pigeon came up. He saw us taping over here, and he was a fan of the show and dropped over to give us some advice. We talked a little bit about ice fishing techniques. He thought maybe we should be using a little different bait and a little different rod. So we made a switch right here on the ice. Traded rods, made a deal with him about, he said he wanted an autograph here to prove that he was out on the ice fishing with Fred Trost, and he outfished me, by the way. Took that home, and I also made him a member of the Michigan Outdoors Club. And in return, he swapped his fishing rod for mine, but actually it didn't do me much good for the rest of the day.
Out here doing business on the ice. We get the autograph for your wife and kids to prove that we were out here. You're a member of the Michigan Outdoors Club, and I now own this rod with the Russian spoon.
What?
Such a deal. And I got personalized instruction right here. And since he showed up, I haven't caught a thing. You're great, Jerry. Appreciate this. This is the technique?
Looking a little too hard.
Oh, okay.
Just wiggle it like that.
Like that. So forget the Swedish pimple
Well, I
technique
got the
altogether.
technique. He says just wiggle it a little bit down in the hole, and it should attract something, but it didn't. The fishing really tapered off as the day went on. Not only did the fishing taper off, caused us to move to another area where we thought there wouldn't be so much slush on the ice. What a joke. Talk about miserable. This is about as bad as it gets out on Saginaw Bay or any waters at this time of year. This is when most ice fishermen give up, but we had the cameras and we wanted to show you what last ice is like this year. Of course, this water has frozen now. Probably at the moment it's frozen, but it will thaw again. Miserable, miserable. You know, my socks had to get wet again. That's what it was like fishing out on Saginaw Bay, closing our fishing season, ice fishing on Michigan Outdoors. I wouldn't have thought we could have missed. Right here, Saginaw Bay, 12 million perch come out of here every year, and we only got 2. Well, I tell you, the conditions around the state have been miserable. There is snowmobiling in the thumb because they have 6 inches of snow on top of the 18 inches of crusty snow that they had there that was melting. Let's open up our trophy book to the pages that show what was caught last year at this time. On the 3rd of March, Ray Genovese from Irons caught the 16-pound, 5-ounce steelhead on a homemade fly in the Big Manistee. Almost looks like spring with that snow melting behind him. But of course, the UP always has much more snow last year too, especially on the west side. And this was in Ontonagon County a year ago. Lee Taylor from Reese caught this nearly 2-pound, 15-inch perch from Lake Gogebic. Now, turning the pages to this year's fish, which, by the way, are not coming in like they did a year ago because of the lousy conditions this winter. But Richard Wichorick from Oscoda connected with a spear in Foot Pond on the Ausable. He took the trophy 19-pound, 12-ounce northern pike. That's one to be proud of, especially this winter. And about a month ago, Michael Steve from Colin was fishing Saginaw Bay, probably off Pinconning or Linwood would be my guess. He was fishing with a minnow, so he was undoubtedly going for perch, just like we were, when he caught this 8-pound, 14-ounce lake whitefish. Now, whitefish have fairly delicate mouths. They're great eating, and this is a trophy. But why are we putting the spotlight on Mike? Well, because this year, through the ice in Saginaw Bay, he caught a big fish, which is a lot more than we could do the day we went out. So we're going to make Michael Steve from Colin our Michigan Outdoors Master Angler of the Week. Good to see a few turkeys still flying in this weather because a number of them were hit hard by the winter storm, so we have our fingers crossed on that. And ice fishing this winter, Bob? Well, it wasn't the best. I caught a 12.5-inch perch at the beginning of the season, entered it in the contest at Ed's Bait Shop here in East Lansing, and believe it or not, you won. I won. You won one of the first fish of the season. We thought ice fishing would get better. It got worse, but Bob turned out to be a winner with a 12.5-inch perch. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And Bob, I have a question for you. Speaking of the outdoor fair, a fellow wrote in and said, during the outdoor fair special you aired in January, you showed a slingshot and handled it briefly. According to Section 750224 of the compiled laws of the state of Michigan, it is a 5-year felony to own, sell, or possess any type of slingshot. Our officials refer to it as a slingshot, but the dictionary defines it the same. Was the law broken on your program? He didn't leave his name, Bob. We looked up slingshot in the dictionary, and no name is absolutely wrong. Slingshot and slingshot are 2 different critters, okay? 2 different types of things. A slingshot, we all know what a slingshot is. A slingshot is like a glove or a sap or a blackjack filled with shot that you could use to hit somebody, heavy instrument, and cause great bodily harm. That's why it's a felony. Now, we don't show slingshots, but at the outdoor fair this year, take a look at some of this tape. We're going to have a variety of shooting activities. Building this aspect of the fair, there's our muzzle loaders. We'll have handgun silhouette shooting. You can put a .44 Magnum in your hand and try it out. Shotgun shooting, bring up your shotgun and pattern it, learn how to pattern it from the experts, and we will have an air gun competition indoors, as well as hopefully blue skiing. There he is, the world champ, and his slingshot, perfectly legal, fun, and enjoyable. Bob, how about a wildlife sketch? Well, I was over just a couple of weeks ago to the MSU Vet Clinic, talked to Dr. Jim Sikarsky with his very interesting snowy owl. Whoa! He means business there. The snowy owls, we really don't find them down in Michigan too much until the dead of winter, though. Yeah, usually they migrate down. I think we see some every year, but occasionally we see a lot of them, and I think it has something to do with a decrease in the population of lemmings up in the Arctic Circle where they normally live. Lemmings are a small rodent that is their usual prey, and when the population of lemmings makes a big
plunge going down, they gotta find something else to eat, especially the young ones that aren't as experienced, or maybe an older bird that might be injured or, not quite able to take care of himself as well as a middle-aged bird. I've seen him far down south is Grindstone City while I was brown trout fishing in November. But look at those eyes, Jim. Look at those eyes are just, gosh, they're so colorful in there. They're kind of got a deep hue to them. Now this bird doesn't see very well. No, this bird's blind in one eye and has some damage to the other eye from a shotgun pellet that has gone through the eye, and it's in the middle of his head right now, and he's got a few other pellets in his body. But we took a look at some x-rays earlier from that. Yeah, that pellet somehow or other missed his brain, so he's doing fine. He won't be able to go back to the wild, but we'll find a home for him. As a matter of fact, I think the Lansing Potter Park Zoo would like to have him, and there's one owl out there now that needs some company. So I don't want to get too close to his talons, Jim, but these are pretty wicked. I'm not going to let him grab me, even though these are real heavy leather gloves. He could pinch me pretty hard through these gloves. It's interesting to see the feathers all the way down around the toes. He's a little bit dirty because he's been banging around in the cage here because he bounces off the walls because he can't see. But once we get him out into a large pen at the zoo, he should be fine. What about that beak, too? You say this owl is more prone to bite than a lot of owls. See, he really likes to... these are heavy gloves, and he's pinching a little bit, and I'm not letting him get my finger. He's just chewing on the glove, and he thinks he's gotten me, and so that's a good way to let him stop struggling. See him jerk it around. He thinks he's really got me. Now, who brought this owl in? Well, this owl came through the Department of Natural Resources. As a matter of fact, it came from my hometown in the UP, Manistee, and was injured. They weren't sure what was wrong with it. He was too weak to fly. Well, now that we've taken some x-rays or radiographs and we know what his problem is, we're not going to try to release this bird. If he were releasable... I don't want to interrupt you, but look at that. He is kind of like a little bulldog. Yeah, he's happy because he thinks he's got me. Now, if this bird were releasable, we'd put him in this flight pen out here outside the vet clinic and let him get used to the weather again and fly and exercise and then release him. But since we know that his injuries are serious enough that he can't be released, we're going to have to find a home for him at the zoo. Okay, and he's going to be at the Potter Park Zoo starting when? Oh, probably in a couple of weeks.
The recipe is called chipper perch. Now, this is not perch, Kathy. I got to label my packages better in the freezer.
Panfish.
I know it was panfish. Now, this is a bluegill, but look at the size of
They
these.
are.
Some real nice
Big
ones.
fillets.
Big fillets of...
Really good. All the other spices that you normally eat. I like it.
You can make this recipe without the fish, and it'd be awfully good, too.
Yeah, no, it does preserve the flavor of the fish. It doesn't destroy it.
Holy cow! Oh, Bob! Hey, look, you got a fish from your boat. Well, that's outstanding. Oh. Hey, this is where we should be fishing. Let's haul them up and fish right in here. Heck, what are we doing?
Hey, I'm going to check the other boat for a walleye.
Yeah. We sure run out of things to do out here, haven't we? Now, hold it. I got to talk to Deep House here because, Bill, Garner told me that you have asked us the question, how can we possibly have such bad luck going out time after time and not get any fish? And you said that, oh, we'll get fish. We'll get fish. I mean, we can't miss. Saginaw Bay produces perch.
We did get a couple.
Literally.
Literally.
2.
Something like that. I didn't get a 1.
Now you know the answer to the question.
We'll invite you back to for an encore, though, when it really gets hot.
Don't you think that everybody who...
Yeah, that sort of mentality.
Yeah, they say, hey, same thing you said. Hey, I've seen these shows where these guys take you out and go get your fish. I can get your fish.
I can't say a thing.
Now you're in that fraternity. Now you've done also what everybody else has done. You got to come back in about 2 months because guaranteed, right? Your next trip is guaranteed?
When this water firms up, Fred, it's going to be out of this world.
Is that right?
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed!